Hello students, this is Vasant Nayak from Vastech channel. So today in this video we will continue fourth module of MP and MC 17 CS 44 syllabus of VTU for fourth semester of CS and IS students. Here we will see first different types of instructions. As I said in my previous video, ARM will support three types of instruction. One is called as ARM, second one is a thumb, third one is called as a Zazzle instruction. So ARM is a 32-bit instructions. So you have to remember one thing here. ARM register, ARM has got 32-bit register, 32-bit data size and 32-bit instruction. That means exactly ARM executes instruction in one cycle. That's why it is. That is the most important feature of ARM. It will execute almost all the instruction in one cycle. Second set of instruction is called as thumb instruction. What is a thumb instruction? Thumb instruction is 16-bit instructions. So you may ask why 16-bit instruction is required. For example, ARM is used in most of the time it is used in embedded system. Embedded system doesn't you consider the TV remote set. It has got small functions. So it doesn't need entire operating system or entire set of ARM instruction. So there they are using a small version of the instruction. That's why the name came thumb. Thumb means miniature version of the instruction is used in such applications like remote system, or you take your washing machine, all those things. A miniature version of the operating system or miniature version of the instruction is used. That's why the name thumb, thumbnail. You may remember thumbnail in YouTube. So that's called as thumb instruction. Third one is Zazzle instruction. Zazzle instruction is used for 8-bit execution. So three sets of instruction is executed by ARM. One is 32-bit instruction. Let me write here. One is 32-bit instruction. Second one is a 16-bit thumb instruction. Third one is a 8-bit instruction. So here you can see the difference between a very important question from the exam point of view. The difference between ARM and thumb instructions. So what are the various differences? So one is the instruction size, 32-bit and 16-bit. Second one is the core instruction. How many core instructions are there? Here in ARM we have 58. Here we have 30 instructions. Conditional execution. Most of the instructions are here conditional execution. Here only branch instructions are conditional execution. Data processing instruction, access to barrel shifter and ALU. Separate barrel shifter and ALU instructions are here. Program status register, read write in privilege mode, no direct access. Please remember, in thumb instruction, thumb mode, there is no direct access to program status register. Register usage, 15 general purpose register plus program counter. Here 8 general purpose register plus 7 I register plus program counter. So from the exam point of view, this is very important question. The difference between ARM and thumb instruction. And when your processor works in ARM mode, CPSR T0 is in value of T is 0. In thumb mode, CPSR T is equal to 1. So what is CPSR? CPSR is nothing but current program status register. We know all these things. Now Zazzle instruction, 8-bit instruction, you can see here. In this case, in some processor, you can see this one, Zazzle instruction, J bit is equal to 1. So over 60% of the Java bytecodes are implemented in hardware. The rest of the codes are implemented in software. This Zazzle supports this type of this one. To execute Java bytes code, you require Zazzle technology plus a specially modified version of the Java virtual machine. So it is a hybrid mix of software and hardware designed to speed up the execution of the Java bytes code. So interrupt mask. So we have two type of interrupts are there, fast interrupt and normal interrupt. So in the CPSR, you know, 7th and 6th bit. 6th bit is used for I and 7th bit is used for FIQ. 6th bit is used for IRQ and 7th bit is used for FIQ. FIQ means fast interrupt request. So when that is set, then processor will make a move to this mode, IRQ mode or FIQ mode. Conditional flags. As I said in the previous case, based on the previous instruction conditions, conditional flag will be set. So there are 5 conditional flags in ARM. So what are the conditional flags? Negative, zero, carry, overflow, and saturation. So ALU operation that specifies the S instruction suffix. For example, for sub instruction you can write SUBS. SUBS that indicates subtract instruction results in a register value of 0, then 0 flag in the CPSR is set. Please remember, if you don't suffix the S instruction S to sub or add or whichever instruction which change the status of the flag, then that instruction will not change the status of the flag. So S suffix is required. Whenever you put S suffix, then only if the condition is met, then it will change the status of the flag register. Otherwise, status of the flag register won't be changed. So please remember this one. So you can see here various flags, and from the exam point of view, these table is this table is required. So when it is set, for what action it is set, what are the different types of flags, like Q, saturation, the result causes an overflow or saturation, that time this flag is set. So and flag representation also you have to do. When they ask about a flag, you have to write about CPSR and you have to tell this one, and you have to explain what are the flags. Then you have to give an example. For example, here carry flag is set. When carry flag is set, the carry flag is 1 inside the processor. For our representation, we use uppercase C, that indicates carry flag is set. This is for our reference, but inside the processor it is 1. Please remember. So conditional execution controls whether or not the core will execute an instruction. Prior to the execution, the processor compares the condition attribute with the condition flag in the CPSR. If they match, then the instruction is executed, otherwise instruction won't be executed. We have seen this one. For example, what are the conditions are there? Equal, not equal, then overflow, no overflow. All these are less than, signed less than, signed greater than, less than or equal. All these are different types of condition, and which condition flags are condition flags are affected. So you have to, from the exam point of view, please remember some of the example like equate, not equal, equal, not equal. Then try to remember less than, greater than, signed greater than, signed less than, greater than, unsigned lower or same, unsigned higher, like at least 5 to 6 flags you have to remember from the exam point of view. Next one is pipelining. We know pipelining mechanism is used to improve the performance. So in the normal in the processor, what will happen? It will fetch the instruction, it will decode the instruction, it will execute the instructions. Right? Yeah, this is the normal stage. Fetch instruction, decode instruction, execute instructions. So it is something like one is depend on the other. So unless you complete fetch, decode won't start. Unless you complete decode, execute won't start. But in 8086 onwards, pipeline technology is introduced. In 8086 you can see there are two sections. One is called as bus interface unit, other one is called as execution unit. So bus interface unit will fetch the instruction from memory and it will store the instruction in instruction queue. Execution unit will execute the instruction separately. So it is just a sort of this one pipelining technology, and it will improve the performance. But in a clear way, we can tell Intel is not making use of the pipeline properly. Why? Because you see, suppose this is the processor MP and this is the memory. So here the processor is trying to access the memory. When it accesses the memory, how it can decode or how it can execute? or how it can access next instruction. When it access the one instruction, how it can access the other instructions. In that way, we can say like 8086 cannot 8086 or Intel cannot make use of the 5-line architecture into the proper utilization or 100% utilization. But in the case of ARM makes use of 32-bit or more than that registers, and all the execution takes place inside the registers. You remember, all the execution takes place inside the register other than that memory. Only 2 times memory is accessed when when load and store instruction, then only memory is accessed. Otherwise, all the instructions are executed in memory. Sorry, executed in a register. That's why it can make use of pipelining properly. So we can say 3-stage pipeline of ARM is equivalent to 6-stage pipeline of Intel. Intel 86 architecture, 3-stage pipeline of ARM. Let me show you the 3-stage pipeline now. You can see here 3-stage pipeline here. See, during the cycle 1 instruction is fetched, and during the cycle 2, the first instruction is in the decode stage. It will fetch the second instruction, SUB. In the cycle 3, first instruction in the execute stage, second instruction is in the decode stage, it will fetch the third instruction. After some time, it looks like ARM will execute all the instruction in one cycle, like execute. After some time, after 3 to 4 cycles, it looks like ARM will execute only execute instruction in one cycle. But it is you making use of a pipeline. So this is the 3-stage pipeline. This will improve the performance. If you see here few instruction, you can feel like it will improve the performance 50%, but if you stage several instruction, it will improve the performance more than 70%. So similarly, you can see as the pipeline length increases, the amount of work done at each stage is reduced. You can see here different stages of the pipeline. ARM 9 core increases the pipeline length to 5 stages. You can see here fetch, decode and execute, memory and write. This is one more diagram you need to write from the exam point of view. Then we have ARM 10. ARM 10 you can see fetch, issue, decode, execute, memory, write. This is 6-stage pipeline. So if they ask about pipeline, you have to write the 3-stage pipeline, and other than that 6-stage and 5-stage pipeline. So what are the other characteristics or the disadvantage of the pipelines? So you can see here first, second and third point. The first point is here given. You can elaborate this one. The execution of branch instruction or branching by the direct modification of the PC causes ARM to flush the its pipeline. For example, when processor execute instruction by using pipeline, it will fetch more than one instruction and it will store that instruction in queue. But when suddenly branch instruction encounters, then it has to jump to branch. That time, whatever it has stored in pipeline becomes useless. It has to flush that pipeline. So that is the disadvantage of pipeline. Second one is ARM 10 uses branch prediction. To avoid this one, ARM 10 uses branch prediction, which reduces the effect of pipeline flushing by predicting possible branches and loading the new branch address prior to the execution of the instruction. Please remember, whatever ARM 7 which has got disadvantage is overcome in ARM 10. Third instruction is execute stage. Third, an instruction in execute stage will complete even though an interrupt has been raised. So when the interrupt is raised, the instruction in the third stage will complete. It will hold the interrupt for time being. This is one more disadvantage or advantage we can take it from our perspective view. So next one is exceptions, interrupts, and the vector table. So we know what is vector table. The address of the particular ISR routine is stored in interrupt vector table. The entries in the vector table are the instruction that branch to the specific routine. The memory map for the vector table is shown here. When the exception or interrupt occurs, the process suspends the normal execution and starts the loading instruction from the exception vector table. So you can see here various exception and which address it goes as which address it goes. All this information you can see here. Different this one vector table. Core extension. So last concept in ARM7 is called as core extension. What is core extension? Please remember ARM7 Advanced RISC Machine is the company which produced the core. They are not designing actually, they are designing only core and they sell that core to various organizations. They design microprocessor and microcontroller according to and various embedded system. So core extensions are the standard hardware components placed next to ARM core. There are three core hardware core extensions are there: cache and tightly coupled, memory and memory management, and last one is the coprocessor interface. So cache tightly coupled memory. Cache is a block of fast memory placed within the memory and the core, between main memory and core. It allows for more efficient fetches from the more efficient fetches. So ARM has two forms of cache. One is von Neumann and second one is Harvard style. So what is that? You can see here von Neumann this one core. Here you can see cache. Cache is inside the core. So it is faster compared to access to main memory. Main memory is accessed by using AMBA bus technology, advanced micro architecture bus, advanced microprocessor bus architecture, right? AMBA bus technology. You can see ARM microcontroller bus architecture. Next one is we have something called as Harvard style, a separate cache for data and instruction. So here it is in the first one we have unified cache. Unified cache means a single cache for data and instruction. Here separate cache for data. One cache is for data, one cache is for instruction. So you can see this one. This is built inside the ARM core. Third one is TCM means tightly coupled memory. TCM is a fast SRAM located close to the core and guarantees the clock cycle required to fetch instruction or data. Please remember TCM. So third one is by combining both of these above architecture, we have something like this. So here you can see data cache, instruction cache, and other than that we have TCM, tightly coupled memory. So this will improve the performance. Shows the example core with the combination of caches and TCM. Memory management. Embedded systems use multiple memory management. So three types of memory managements are there. No extension providing no protection. First one. Second one is memory protection unit providing limited protection. Third one is memory management unit providing providing full protection. So here you see no protected memory is a fixed and provides very little flexibility. MPU employs simple system that uses a limited number of memory regions. MMU is the most comprehensive memory management hardware available on the ARM. Coprocessors can be attached. Third one is extension. In the extension, third category is coprocessor can be attached to the ARM processor. Coprocessor extends the processing features of core by extending the instruction set or providing configuration registers. More than one coprocessor can be added to the ARM core. Coprocessor can be access through the group of dedicated ARM. What is coprocessor? Actually, coprocessor is nothing but a mathematical processor to execute mathematical instructions. It will help the main processor, that is called as a coprocessor. So here coprocessor, ARM, actually original version of the ARM doesn't support a coprocessor. Doesn't support in the sense it has not got built-in coprocessor, etc. So it is not like Intel Intel x86 architecture. Here coprocessor can be attached to the ARM. So with this, dear students, we have completed 4th module. Then we will move to the 5th module in the next video. Thank you.